everybody, so we've got a fun review today because we're talking about Season 3 of Netflix's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. If it feels like not much time has passed between seasons, it really hasn't. Season 2 of the show came out back in March of this year, so it really hasn't been that big of a gap between that and Season 3, but I can't really complain because I was very excited going into Season 3 with the way that we ended things off with that cliffhanger ending in Season 2, where Skeletor gets command of an army of snake men while attempting to plunge Eternia into darkness, and we see that play out over the course of this season. If you've been following all of my reviews for the He-Man show so far, you would know that I actually didn't enjoy the first season all that much, but did come around to the second season, and now, by Season 3, I think the show has really hit its stride. Season 3, I think, is the best season by far out of all of the three. Not only is it just an all-around blast to watch the adventure unfold throughout Season 3, but you really feel how high the stakes are with Skeletor's plan so close to coming to fruition, while also having Crass turn to the side of evil, now being one of Skeletor's henchmen, turning her back on He-Man, Teela, and Duncan to work with Skeletor, and that causes its own set of unique obstacles when these two groups inevitably clash various times throughout the show. For as hype as I was for the Snake Men to arrive in that cliffhanger in Season 2, they really aren't as integral to the main plot going on as I anticipated. For the most part, the show kind of uses them in the same kind of vein as Stormtroopers. They're pretty much just fodder for all the heroes to take on throughout the story whenever they aren't facing off against one of the main antagonists of the show. So that did bum me out a little bit. It didn't really take me out of the show all that much. It was just something that was kind of a bummer. Like, I was expecting like King Hiss and all of that stuff, and we didn't get that here. Regardless, they really brought their A-game here for all the action sequences in Season 3. Almost every single episode has awesome, fun fight sequences with a lot of variety to them. There's so many different enemy types this season, whether it be the snakes, even bigger snakes, giant ships, robots. There's one sequence in particular that I thought was really fun, is when all of the snakes come together and make an even bigger snake for He-Man to face off. Out of all of like the grunt battles, that was probably my favorite one. But the final battle that we get in the show, where it's the Masters of the Universe versus Skeletor, I think is the biggest, most bombastic, awesome thing He-Man related that I've probably seen in any sort of He-Man content in the last several years at least. It can feel a bit hectic at times trying to follow all the different stories going on because there are so many more groups this time around and they are smaller and we gotta bounce around all of them all doing different things at different times. Even still, I would say that the majority of the groups get an ample amount of screen time and feel important to the overall story. The only one that didn't really feel like it mattered as much to the main overall story, unfortunately, was our group of minions that Skeletor does not really need anymore. He casted out Evelyn, Beastman, Triclops, and Trapjaw. It's not that I dislike the characters at all, it's just that they feel kind of aimless. They don't really have a major purpose other than they are here to try and get their powers back that they lost, and that's kind of like their main contribution to the show. Out of all the different storylines, obviously the one I most gravitated towards was the He-Man story. I think he had the most enjoyable one. It also just brought me a lot of joy seeing Randor fight side by side with his son this season, getting in on the team attacks, while also helping He-Man grow and mature as a character. This season especially, there are more temptations than ever for him to dip into that darker side of things, doing whatever it takes to try and stop Skeletor, and he kind of has some Anakin Skywalker Episode 3 moments throughout the course of the season without going into too many details about it, while at the same time he is still struggling with the fact that he lost his best friend Crass to Skeletor, and that really does take its toll on him over the course of the season. Teela as well goes through quite a compelling arc this season involving Eldris, which I can't really talk about too much, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but she is returning in a mysterious way in some shape or form. I was disappointed by Duncan's inclusion, because Duncan, I think he's a very fun comic relief character, but he also is not given that much to do in the main storyline other than participate in the battles with the Masters of the Universe. As a lifelong fan of the He-Man franchise, it's always great to see all of their old iconic characters return in this show, whether it be Man-E-Faces or Stratos. This season, we get Merman. I mean, Merman has a very weird design in general. This is probably one of the more weird designs he's ever had, in my opinion. But he is extremely menacing and quite powerful in the episodes he does appear in without giving too much away. He definitely is a highlight. With Crass turning to the side of evil in Season 3, trying to work with Skeletor, we do see that throughout the episode, episodes, there is that internal struggle here, turning against all of her friends in the Masters of the Universe, that do at least add some layers of complexity, at least as much complexity as you could have in a show like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I mean, it is very clearly obvious to anyone that she's being manipulated, used as a pawn by Skeletor in his plan, and she's the only one that doesn't know that, but I can't really knock the writing all that much. I mean, it is a kid's show meant to sell toys. Speaking of Skeletor, even as a ghost this season, he is still spectacular and one of the main reasons to watch this show. He consistently has some of the best dialogue in the entire show. It's enjoyably cheesy dialogue, but he also knows when to be menacing when the situation does call for it. I really feel like this portrayal of Skeletor is one of the more underrated aspects of this series, because I mean, I love Alan Oppenheimer. I think Mark Hamill does a great job in Revelations, but this portrayal, I think, might be my second favorite, of course, besides Alan Oppenheimer. And speaking of the plan that Skeletor is putting forth in Season 3, there are elements of this that actually remind me a lot of the plan that we had in Masters of the Universe Revelations. I mean, it kind of makes sense, I guess, because they were probably being worked on at the same exact time. They aren't the exact same or anything. I would just say that it's a similar idea with a little bit different execution. I think the execution of the ideas in general are much better in this compared to Revelation, because the last two episodes, when that plan is at its apex, it's pretty awesome. It does feel like, though, as the season progresses and Skeletor gets closer and closer to having that plan come to fruition, we really do stretch out the runtime. We pad out the episodes. There are some episodes in the middle that kind of feel more fillery. I mean, I get it. You want to have 8 episodes. I know Season 1 had 10, but I feel like this really could have been probably 6 episodes of material with 2 episodes of filler in the middle. As episodes 5 and 6, we kind of go on a side adventure of sorts, and it does feel very fillery, and it is noticeable, but it isn't particularly bad filler or anything. It's just very noticeable, and I want to get to the final act and to see Skeletor's plan finally happen. Thankfully, at least when we do get to those final 2 episodes, a 2-part finale, it's well worth the wait. Like I said, it's a pretty epic final battle, and we do have a very exciting, tantalizing tease for a potential Season 4 with some other fun new threats on the horizon. I actually thought that Season 3 for some reason was the last season. I mean, we never really know, I guess, when it comes to Netflix, but there are set up here for a Season 4 that I'm going to be very excited to talk about with you guys in the comment section. But yeah, all around, Season 3 of Masters of the Universe was a blast from beginning to end, capturing the fun, colorful, light tone of Masters of the Universe with great messaging of overcoming adversity no matter the obstacles put in front of them, and truly bonding as a team or a family. I would say by the end of this, they're more family than team. But now you've heard my thoughts on Season 3 of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It does hit Netflix August 18th, so only a couple days from now. So make sure you share your thoughts down below. What do you think of Season 3? Do you like the season, not like the season? Also, are you very excited for that setup for a potential Season 4? Do you want a Season 4? Anyway, share all your thoughts down below about Season 3 in the comment section. It's part of the fun stuff in the conversation, you guys, in the comment section down below. Thank you guys always check the reviews. I really do appreciate that. Make sure you leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel so you're always updated reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Next time, I'll see you guys later.